91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. I encourage listeners to listen to that entire piece. It really is obviously a masterpiece by Arthur Schoenberg, Verklärte Nacht. Now we're going to get Randy Schoenberg on the phone with me. Randy, are you with me?
Yes.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thanks so much for being with me and calling in so promptly. And the show is live, so that's really appreciated. To start off, I'd like to just tell listeners a little bit about you. Randy Schoenberg, you are an American attorney, genealogist. You're based in L.A., and you have... You are a top litigator. You specialized in legal cases related to the recovery of looted or stolen artworks, particularly those by the Nazi regime during the Holocaust. You're also succeeded in recovering Gustav Klimt's famous painting known as The Woman in Gold and other works of art after a nearly 8-year struggle against the Austrian government. And there was a film made about this called Woman in Gold, and Ryan Reynolds played you. Yeah.
That's correct. I was very lucky.
yeah. And now you came out with this film based on your family with locations in some of the most beautiful European cities. And the film called Fioretta is making its world premiere as part of the Woodstock Film Festival on Sunday, September 30th at the Bearsville Theater, followed by a beautiful live music performance as well. So now I'd like to I saw the film. And it was so engaging, and it was, what a beautiful memory for your son and for you. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
How did you get into genealogy?
Well, that's unfortunately too long a story, but I started, like most people start, with a class project in elementary school. And I like to joke that, most people, when they find something when they're in third or fourth grade that they're good at, that's what becomes their thing. Could have been baseball or football, but for me it was genealogy. I came back to school as a third grader with this enormous family tree because I was able to get a lot of information from my mother's mother, my grandmother, and also from a book about my grandfather, Arnold Schoenberg.
Right. I think I called him Arthur. Sorry about that. It's Arnold. Okay.
That's okay. He had a cousin named Arthur, so that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, very sorry about that. That I do not like to do that. So here you are getting involved in all of this, and obviously your life took several different turns because you're also an attorney. How did Fioretta come about? Who thought of saying, let's make a documentary? Who thought of that?
Yeah, there was actually an idea that my cousin Serena had. She's in the film, and I was visiting her. She's Italian. She's from Venice, Italy, because my father's older sister married an Italian composer. And so I was telling her, like I've probably done for decades, I've been working on genealogy and found this and that. And I mentioned that I thought I could trace our family back, our Jewish family back, from Vienna and Prague all the way to the ghetto in Venice, where she's from. Born and raised and lives in Venice, Italy. And of course, on her father's side, she's related to everybody, but she never really thought on her mother's side she would be. And so her response was, wow, that would make an interesting documentary. And she's an artist and a filmmaker too. And so I thought, well, she was never really interested before, but maybe that would be something interesting if we went on this sort of roots trip. And so I came back home to Los Angeles, and by coincidence, a friend of mine was making a film and they needed my help. And so I went over to meet with them, and I mentioned my cousin had this idea, and they also thought it was interesting. So I thought, okay, well, normally when you talk about genealogy, only you care about your genealogy and other people don't. But if they think this might be a good story, then maybe we should work on it. So we met a few times, and then Matthew Mashori, the director, he and I took a scouting trip to Europe. It was still in the pandemic. We went to Venice, Italy, and if you can imagine, all the big square where usually there are thousands of people was totally empty. Except for the birds. The pigeons are always still there. And we scouted around there, went to Vienna and Prague and Florence and a few other places. And we got along great, and he said, he really wanted to make this movie. So we went ahead and did it. The movie changed a little bit, like documentaries I think sometimes do. while you're making it because my son Joey was able to come along. We did it at the end of his senior year, and so he came along, and then the film became all about Joey,
Yeah.
or at least all about our relationship, and I think that adds a great dimension to the film.
It really, really, really does. Are there other families that you know of that can date back 500 years?
Well, yes and no. I mean, we all have thousands and thousands, even tens of thousands of ancestors at that period 500 years ago. The question is finding them, right? And so in Jewish genealogy, it's more rare, but I think a lot of people can and do enjoy genealogy and can trace back relatively far. The key is being able to find the documents and records. And so in some locations, it's possible, in others, not. And what I like about what I've been able to do is it sets up sort of a scaffolding, basically,
Mm-hmm.
that other people can also attach to, right? Because again, they're sometimes millions of descendants from these people who lived 500 years ago, and so once one person forges that path, everybody else can sort of latch onto it.
Wow. Wow. It's a remarkable film. The books that you were looking at, and of course, Europe, everything's old, right? We here in the United States think something that's 200 years is old, but
Yeah,
you go to
especially
Europe.
California.
Yeah.
Especially California.
Yeah, yeah. And you go to Europe, and everything's thousands of years old. And
Yes, yes.
yeah, and the cities that this movie takes place in is Prague, also Vienna, Venice, and Florence, and of course L.A. Right? Um,
Right.
Now, some of the people that you met when you were doing this movie, and I can't remember exactly, it was a gentleman, some sort of a library that you were in, that you found works or people that were hundreds and hundreds of years back. And he couldn't believe that he was talking to you because he had had such an interest in the Schoenbergs.
Yeah, well, it's not. He didn't know that the Schoenbergs were descended, but there was a professor in Italy. He actually taught at a university in southern Italy, but he lived in Florence. His name was Fabrizio Leli, and when we decided to do the film, then I started to do some more research, to see what we could really find, and I discovered that he had written on this family that I had found in Venice. So I contacted him, and we ended up meeting him in Florence, and he showed us this manuscript. It's a giant scroll that they unravel that was written by my ancestor 500 years ago. I think it was, well, almost 500 years ago, 1532.
Close
And
enough.
it's this illustrated, crazy, sort of Kabbalistic manuscript that's held in the Medici Library, a library designed by Michelangelo, by the way.
Wow.
And just going to meet him, and he's so enthusiastic, like you said, right? He just sort of can't contain himself.
Yes.
Because he, as an academic, has been researching this for a decade now, and then to find someone sort of who's physically connected to it was a real treat for him, and of course for me and for Joey to be in the presence of this ancient document, this manuscript that was written by our ancestors was just like an undescribable thrill.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine the joy on this man's face was almost overwhelming for him,
Yeah.
and it was really, really cool to witness that. Now, I don't know. The older I get, the more interested I become in genealogy and history and family, and just learning more. Joey is a young kid in this movie, a teenager. What was he thinking at the time? Oh, I'm just like going on this trip with Dad, or was he equally into it like you are?
Well, he knows, because I do it all the time, that I'm completely nuts, right? That I'm crazy about this, and so of course, like, no one in the family, especially my wife and kids, care about any of this because that's just Randy's crazy thing that he does. But when he had the opportunity to go to Europe with me and be in a film, he was a little bit more, willing to be dragged along, and so you could see him in various, even meeting that exciting professor when there's a scene with us having lunch afterwards, and he's talking to us about the meaning of this manuscript, and you see Joey's sort of eyes glazing over as he's falling asleep. So there were a lot of points where he wasn't so interested. But what's fascinating in the way that Matthew Mashori put the film together is you can see him getting more and more interested as we went along, as the camera was able to sort of capture those moments with him where you see sort of a little spark going off wow, this is actually something cool and interesting that I, as a teenager, can appreciate. And so anyway, it's one of the neat aspects of the film that I really like.
I do too. I do too. It just takes on a different dimension to see your two generations and how different parts of your lives that you're in. But I can only
Yes.
imagine this film that you are now leaving for your future generations, your children's, and all the generations to follow, and all the homework and the work that you have unearthed for your family kind of forever. And
Yeah.
it,
I I mean, for me, it's sort of like the treasure hunt, right? Like I like to go and dig and discover things, and I meet new people. And most of the movie, it's not a traditional documentary where they sort of zoom in and out of documents, and we sit in a chair and they go off to the side. That there's none of that in this film. It's all about the interaction with the people, and you can see these are people that I've met along the way, and they're super friendly and they become good friends. So for me, it's that adventure and excitement of meeting new people and finding new things. But for Matthew, the filmmaker, it is about what you were just talking about. Sort of how do we transmit memory from generation to generation? What gets left behind? What can we still learn from the past and then pass on, or use in the present and then pass on into the future?
Mhm.
And he really does a remarkable job with the whole story that way.
Absolutely. The cinematography on this film, again, the film is called Fioretta, and it's making its world premiere as part of the Woodstock Film Festival, which begins next week. And Fioretta will be shown on the 30th of this month at Bearsville Theater. Tickets available at woodstockfilmfestival.org. Also, so interesting going through the old grave sites in so many of the cities that you were in. I mean, and the stones that you found, and wow, it was.
Yeah, I know. I hope that doesn't scare people off. Some people love going to cemeteries. Other people really hate it. There are a lot of them, but they're different. And what I like about the European cemeteries, maybe different, especially different from ones out here in California, where everything's very uniform. In Europe, you really see the individual character of the person in the tombstone,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
and that's just like you can almost feel like you're walking through an old community, because each stone has a different design and flourish and the way of talking about the person. So for me, I really enjoy that, especially because most of the Jewish community in those parts of the world was destroyed,
Right.
especially in the Czech areas. It was something like 90% of the Jews were
Wow.
were killed during the Holocaust. So you really don't have anything other than these remnants, the old synagogues, the old tombstones, the old artifacts that we locate in the film.
And the one city, I forgot which one it was, where it was the original synagogue that was still there. Um, yeah,
Right, right.
yeah,
In Vienna, we go into it's the only synagogue that survived the famous or infamous Kristallnacht,
yeah.
which is the night in November of 1938 when all throughout Austria and Germany the Nazis burned down synagogues, and in Vienna every single one was burned down except this one in the center of town, which is next to close enough to a church that they couldn't burn it down without endangering the church, and so that's the one we go into, and it's of course very beautiful also, so that
Powerful
makes it
too.
especially moving.
Yeah, yeah. Very moving, very powerful. Your grandfather, Arnold Schoenberg, a renowned composer. My daughter, who's a violinist, immediately knew who he was. Um,
Yes.
yeah. So
The musicians will know.
yeah, yeah, definitely. They will
For sure.
definitely know this. So he ended up emigrating here to the U.S. and in 1933. Is that correct? He wasn't part of the war, the Second World War over there?
Well, he was briefly. So my father's parents also from Vienna, the Schoenbergs, like my mother's parents, but they had moved to Berlin. My grandfather was a professor at the academy in Berlin, and so when the Nazis took over in January '33, one of the first things they did was go into the academic senate
Mm.
and start preaching hatred and saying that they had to kick out all the Jews. So my grandparents prepared to leave very quickly, and my grandmother got a telegram from her brother, who was a violinist, Rudolf Kolisch, saying, "Change of air recommended." And that night at midnight, they fled to Paris and they never returned. So they went to France for a few months and then on to the United States, ultimately settling in Los Angeles in 1934. But it was that type of experience where they knew that they were being targeted and had to flee right away. My mother's parents left the day after Kristallnacht in November of '38. They had already a train ticket because they had planned to leave on that date on November 10th, and so they were able to escape through Germany into France, and then again to New York and to Los Angeles.
Right. Did you meet either set? I think Arnold had passed by the time you were born, right?
Yes, unfortunately, my grandfathers both died in the 50s. I'm only born in '66, and so I never met them. But they left behind so much music and writings and even artwork, and so I've been able to really get to know them in a way because of what they've left behind for posterity,
Yeah.
and so that's lucky for me because most people find it difficult to really get to know their deceased ancestors, and maybe that's what started me off on this journey,
Right.
being able to understand who my grandfathers were through the things that they left behind.
Did you ever try music? Was music ever like being a performer or a composer ever?
I
Uh,
I
it,
always joke I have so many famous musicians and composers in the family, but it's like waves, and they came together and flatlined in the middle, and so I have no talent whatsoever. I
well,
did play violin,
uh-huh.
but very badly, and everybody thinks, oh, I'm just being modest, but no, really, really badly.
Really,
So,
really.
uh,
Well, listen,
yeah.
Randy, you have made quite a difference on this world, not just by being a musician, but doing what you're doing and this genealogy and the litigation that you've done. It must have been absolutely remarkable to have that whole recovery of the woman in gold.
Yeah, but that was so lucky because, of course, I was already interested in my own history and learning about Austria because my grandparents were from there, and then Maria Altmann, who was my mother's best friend, came and said, there's this new law in Austria, and can you help me try to recover my family's paintings? And so I dove right into that, and it was so
How
fascinating and
long did it
interesting.
take you to do that?
That was 8 years of my
Yeah.
life. So I started out, I was about 31, 32, and it ended right before I turned 40. So it was quite a long ordeal. I had to argue in the U.S. Supreme Court just to get the right to really proceed with the litigation, and ultimately we were successful in
Wow.
an arbitration in Austria and recovered these 5 paintings by Gustav Klimt, one of which is still on permanent public view at the Neue Gallery in New York on 86th and 5th.
Is
So I
that
recommend
right?
for people in your area, they can go there and see the famous woman in gold. It's called, or a portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer, the famous gold portrait with this sort of gold mosaic around it. It's one of those paintings where it's interesting because Klimt, his name is maybe not so well known, but if you show the picture of the painting, everybody says, "Oh, I know that painting,"
Everyone knows that
right?
painting. Yeah, yeah,
Everybody does,
absolutely.
and I was just very fortunate to be able to help Maria Altman and her family recover it, and now it's in New York on permanent display.
It
So it's
must
really
have
nice.
been quite the day when that ruling was handed down.
It
Of
was midnight.
wow,
I had lost in a poker game, and I was coming home sort of dejected, and checked my email before going to bed. Usually a mistake, but at that day there was this email from the arbitrators, and so I opened it up, and there it was. We
wow,
won the case. On
wow,
high school.
wow. Wow, amazing. Well, congratulations. And what a beautiful thing
Thank
to
you.
have to, yeah, yeah, no, it's just really remarkable. Woodstock Film Festival, world premiere. I saw your story. You're going to also be at some other places. You're doing a little traveling. Randy, tell us where you're going.
Well, we're doing a sneak preview in Cincinnati, which is where my in-laws live,
Hmm.
on the 28th of September, and then we're hopping on a plane over to New York, and we'll be there. The whole family's coming. My son Joey, who's in the film, is at the Culinary Institute
Do you realize that's about
in Hyde
10
Park.
minutes, 10 minutes from us right here?
Right. So he'll be there, and he's really looking forward to it. And my other kids are coming in too. So the whole family will be there at the world premiere in Woodstock, and then from there we go on. Not all of us, but Matthew Mashori and I think Joey's coming too, are going to Zurich for the European premiere at the Zurich Film Festival, and then we go on to Israel, where we have a premiere at the Anu Museum, the Diaspora Museum or Museum of Jewish People in Tel Aviv on October 8th. And then I fly back. I'm going to stop in Vienna for a few days and then come back to Southern California, where we're going to have a West Coast premiere at the Newport Beach Film Festival. And we just found out we're also going to be in a festival called Doc LA, a documentary festival in downtown Los Angeles at the end of October. So that's what's happening for now. And then I think the film we're going to try to screen it in Los Angeles for a week in December, and I already have a week lined up in Vienna where we're going to show it there, and we're just hoping that other distributors and platforms will pick it up, and it'll be available to the general public.
It really should be.
But
it is.
But first the premiere.
Yeah, first the
In
premiere.
Woodstock, yeah.
And I
Very
recommend
excited.
everyone go to woodstockfilmfestival.org. We are talking with Randy Schoenberg, who this film is about, him and his son and his family. Fioretta is the title. World premiere happening on Saturday, September 30th at 2:15, and it's followed by some really cool live music. Tell us about that.
That's right. Well, if nothing else, even if you don't like the film, you're going to love the music because they're playing my grandfather, Arnold Schoenberg's most famous work, the one that everybody loves, Verklärte Nacht, or Transfigured Night. He composed it when he was just 25 years old, and it's considered a masterpiece of classical music, and it's very romantic and tonal. It's actually a tone poem, so it's based on a poem about a man and his girlfriend, and she announces to him that she's pregnant, but with another man's child, and he says, "Don't worry, I love you so much. We'll transform the child, and it'll be like our own." And there's this sort of melodic and very peaceful and beautiful ending to the work. So everyone will like it. The players that are performing are also really famous and very good. And they include the actress and cellist Laurie Singer, who also has a film at the festival this year, and Johannes Fleischmann, who is featured in our film playing music by my grandfather. So along with several other very, very well-known artists and musicians. So please come, and hope to see everybody there on Saturday. Right?
Yeah, Saturday, September 30th. The screening is at 2:15. The string performance is at 4:25, and followed by Q&A, which is always my favorite part of a film festival. So it's a whole afternoon of it really. It's just engaging, this film. It's a very warm film. It's engaging. It's amazing how far back you've gone. I've never heard of anyone going that far back. And bravo to being so... what's the word? So you won't give up on this, and it
persistent.
Persistent. Thank you. I was looking for that word. Yes. So this is a good thing, and
for better or worse. That's me.
Yeah. Well, it definitely is paid off. Fioretta, a beautiful film, very well done. Randy, I look forward to meeting you at the festival. Travel safe. I thank you for your time here today, and we'll see you next week.
Great. Thank you so much. Yes. Very excited.
Absolutely.
See you all on the 30th.
Yes, absolutely, Randy. Safe travels. Thank you. Take care.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. And that was Randy Schoenberg of the film Fioretta, which is having its world premiere at the Woodstock Film Festival Saturday, September 30th at 2:15 at Bearsville Theater. The festival starts next week. Next Tuesday is a premiere, a musical experience, and then the film festival itself runs from Wednesday through Sunday of next week. Tickets available, woodstockfilmfestival.org. There are a ton of great live music performances, a ton of premieres showing, documentaries, shorts, film, all kinds of categories of film. Last week we had Mayra Blaustein on, the executive director and co-founder of the festival. If you missed that or you want to hear this interview again, it'll all be uploaded later on tonight on the YouTube channel under LocalMotion on 91.3 WVKR. So please subscribe and stay tuned. And as Randy was just telling us, his grandfather, Arnold, was a world-renowned composer of classical music. And we started this program by listening to a very short piece of Verklärte Nacht. We're going to keep listening to that. And then we've got another filmmaker calling in. We're going to be talking with Stephen Gerard Kelly in about 5 minutes or so about his U.S. premiere film called In the Shadows of Beirut. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, let's listen to more from Verklärte Nacht here on 91.3 WVKR. .3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. You are tuned into LocalMotion here each and every Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m., bringing you music and the arts here in the Hudson Valley. I'll play a little bit more of that piece later on during the show. That was Arnold Schoenberg's famous Verklärte Nacht by our previous guest's grandfather. So let's get a listen now to, we have another guest coming on, another filmmaker. It's an exciting time here in the Hudson Valley with the Woodstock Film Festival right around the corner. So let's get Stephen Gerard Kelly on the line now. Are you with me, Stephen Gerard Kelly?
I am, yes, I'm here. Hi. How are
Hi,
you, Rita?
I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to talking to you here with what looks to be an incredibly powerful film. You are the cinematographer and director of this film?
Yeah, co-director, thank you. I directed it along with Gary Keane,
Mm-hmm.
with his immense experience. So yeah, very happy to be here talking to you, and thanks very much for taking time.
Yeah, thank you for taking your time as well. You are going to be having two showings at the Woodstock Film Festival. On Friday, September 29th, you'll be at the Rosendale Theater at 12 noon with the film, and you'll be at Bearsville Theater on Sunday, October 1st at 10:15 a.m. The film that we're talking about is called In the Shadow of Beirut. I saw the trailer, I read the press release. I can't wait to see the film. How did you come about doing this? I mean, this was obviously a labor of love with many people in it. How did you pick the families that you're featuring? Talk to me. Just talk to me.
Sure, sure. No, it's a great question. People often ask, how does an Irishman end up in Beirut, Lebanon, and even how does that Irish guy end up making a film? I was given an ultimatum by my partner, who basically said to me, who got a job in Beirut and said to me, basically, move or we are over. We've been doing a distance relationship for years, and she basically said, I'm moving there. And so I decided in 2015 to move there and maintain that relationship. And then by getting to make the film, it might surprise people, but I never set out to make a film when I first moved there. Sort of by luck, I became friends with a family from Shatila, one of the neighborhoods where the film is set,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't speak the language, so for years I was there almost daily, learning the language, learning about the area, the history, and at a human level, there was immense injustices and a very different living conditions in Shatila and Sabra than other parts of Beirut, which is known as a fashion hub and a lot of wealth and culture and extremely rich in many ways. But just the social side of it, just the challenges and some of the human rights challenges that people were facing there meant that I wanted to learn more and was interested. Maybe it's also linked to being from Ireland, and being being a colonized people that still haven't fully achieved independence for our island. And I think that, along with the ongoing colonization of the Palestinian people, meant that I was also sort of felt a certain camaraderie at a historical level with the Palestinian community living in Shatila.
Right.
There
Yeah.
were sort of a number of things that came together initially, and then after years and years of learning Arabic, learning about the stories, then in 2018 was when people started to ask me, Steve, can you please film this? Be it somebody working for the government coming to look for a bribe, be it young people being arrested purely because they were in a certain place at a certain time by a state that would only come in when it was to punish or arrest people from the area. There was very little state support to Sabra. And just people angry with me, or angry and then asking me to film, and then also at times of celebration, be it a wedding or be somebody, has a new child, and just documenting that, and it sort of grew organically to a point where after years I had hundreds of hours of footage.
How long did you live there, Steve?
I lived there for 5 years
Wow.
full time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from 2015 to 2020.
Exactly, yeah.
Were you there for the explosion that happened that we all saw on the news?
Yeah, the explosion was pretty catastrophic. We weren't our building wasn't directly damaged. However, the buildings in front of our building had their windows blown out, and where we lived was like maybe a few kilometers from that port blast. But every day we'd be going past that port and not knowing the danger that lurked there, but a devastating, extremely sad event that really put Beirut on the global map, and in news cycles for weeks. But unfortunately now, what the film shows, and also, with the news, what we read about the economic crisis there, which is one of the worst in the world on record.
Yeah.
Massive currency devaluation, where the local currency is worth less than 10% of what it was worth.
Oh. It's true. I read
there.
on your introduction here, 80% of the population is living under the poverty line, and this had no precedent since October of 22.
Yeah, no. It's an extremely sectarian country. France used to have a mandate there, and then when the French left, sort of there hasn't been a census done for nearly 100 years, and the reason is that the power balance that was assigned gives sort of a sharing between Christian and Muslim communities. That if today that the census was done on the population demographies, you would have there would need to be a change in who controls what. So it's extremely sectarian, and the political solution is needed to help the economy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel that's getting into the thick of it. It's an incredibly beautiful, diverse place with incredible people, lots of culture, music, poetry, food. People there are incredibly welcoming, and unfortunately, more and more are living through tough times.
Yeah.
But the film itself is set in two neighborhoods that were suffering long before the port explosion,
right,
and have intergenerational trauma from different wars and the forced displacements by conflict.
Right. So I just want to again tell listeners we're talking with filmmaker Stephen Gerard Kelly about the film In the Shadow of Beirut, which is making its U.S. premiere at the Woodstock Film Festival. 2 showings on the 29th of September at the Rosendale Theater at 12 noon, and on Sunday, October 1st at Bearsville Theater at 10:15 a.m. And there's a trailer. If people would like to see a trailer, there's a trailer of this film on YouTube, In the Shadow of Beirut, and it captivates you. How did you find the 4 families that you worked with? How did
Great question.
How did you choose
Rita,
them?
yeah.
How did you choose them?
Or
maybe they chose you.
Yeah. No, I mean, people after being there for years, people opened their doors and their hearts to me. You know, like for the first 6 months to a year, I just spent time with the same family, and then the rest of the neighborhood would be asking, who's he, and then word of mouth would spread, you know, that the Irish guy with the ginger beard is a good guy, and you know, he's here. He just had a baby boy who was born here, etc., etc. You know, and then people started to bring me into their own lives, and then I was probably actively filming with up to 10 families. And then just the format of a feature-length doc in or around 90 minutes meant that we had to be very, at times, you know, it was very tough to select who would make it into the final film, because the 4 families that are in there are just a sample of an immense amount of, you know, themes and challenges that families have to face on a daily basis. So how did we select them finally to make it into the film? It was felt by the team, by our Lebanese production partners, Abood Productions, by like sort of looking at the different narratives. It was found that they worked the best together in a 90-minute film. So
wow, I can't wait to see this film. I'll be there at Bearsville Theater bright and early on the 1st. It is, you know, when you see something like this, I don't know, it just brings humankind to me. It brings humankind, like, you know, we really are all brothers and sisters, you know, and how
that's
we
great,
all,
Rita,
you know, we really all have a story. And some of these people, as rough as we think here in America, sometimes we have it, we know nothing about this world. Like,
no, I'm
you know,
yeah. To your point there about connecting with it at such a human level, that's, as director of in the Shadows of Beirut, that is the ultimate and most important thing for me, is to let people who've never had the chance to meet people from these countries, these areas, to learn more, to empathize more, and to generate more compassion. And again, there's immense suffering and inequality in the US, where I was lucky enough to call home for 5 years. However, when we look out, you know, news cycles and stories in the US are often, it's such a huge, diverse area with a lot of its own issues. But where in the Shadow of Beirut is filmed is nearly, it's certainly a different world, and the challenges there are tough, to say the least. You know?
Yeah. Most Americans won't ever have experienced anything like it or see anything like that unless they see it in a film, right? Because that, I mean, we definitely, obviously, have hunger and poverty here in this country, but on this level, and with wars and with the way it all is, it's just, it is a very powerful film. I must thank you for doing what you do on this planet, because to open other people's eyes to something like this, maybe somehow we can all somehow make a difference. Are you still in touch with the families that you filmed?
Absolutely. This week I was talking to the family of the young girl with the skin condition. They had some tragic news, which I won't go into now. But I've been talking with everybody because I keep them informed of upcoming screenings, and also people who see the film are beginning to reach out asking how they can help. We have started a social impact campaign where, with the communities, we'll be deciding on any funds donated, how best it is to spend those funds in a transparent and accountable way.
Yeah.
And, you know, audiences in the US can really, this isn't nearly just a 90-minute film where that if they want to learn more, just go online, research, read more. And a lot of the problems in the region are linked to U.S. foreign policy over the years. So if people do want to learn more and figure out what wars are happening where, going back 100 years, please, and just figure out, because a lot of what has happened in the last 100 years is linked to ongoing, sort of the perpetuation of a particular foreign policy and worldview, that if people want to learn more, go online and get the emails to local government officials, which I know are all available online, and write to your representatives.
Make a change, because
make a change, and encourage people to, just read.
Yes.
Read. It's a luxury. Reading is a luxury that not many people have.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the world are struggling just to put food on the table. But if people do have time, I urge them to read about the different problems in other parts of the world and linkages to larger economies and militaries, and just every person has a voice, and
every person does have a story, and you certainly have portrayed some really human stories, and I really hope people come out to see this film, In the Shadow of Beirut, making its U.S. premiere, folks, at the Rosendale Theater on Friday the 29th at 12 noon, and again at Bearsville Theater on Sunday, October 1 at 10:15. Stephen, I do believe you're going to be here doing Q&A also?
I will, yes. I'll be traveling to the area I'll be coming in from overseas. So yeah, I'll be there for both the showings and for Q&A afterwards.
Wonderful. Hopefully you'll tell us more about websites, because I'm going to guess people are going to see this film and going to say, what can we do? So I hope during Q&A you're able to just lay it all out there and see how we as humans and as Americans can help the people of Lebanon. And and thank you for doing what you're doing. Are you working? Do you have another plan for an next film, or what's going on with you next?
Yeah, good question. I do. I'm working on 2 different films. Apart from paying bills as a director of photography, and I travel a lot in the US and Latin America for work, but I'm developing 2 new documentary films. One of the more creative doc with exploring identity and borders,
wow,
and how that shapes who we are. Looking at the island of Ireland, principally.
Stephen, I'll just step back, and I should have asked this as my first question. How did you get into filmmaking and cinematography?
Okay, yeah, sure. I've been a photographer for as long as I know.
Mm-hmm.
So moving from professional photography sort of gave me a good understanding of composition, lighting, how to tell a story with individual photos and captions. But it was challenging then to move to the moving image, to ensure narrative progression using moving image, while ensuring that consecutive shots worked in an edit, and then at the same time trying to get good audio.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot to learn, and it was sort of like an organic move, because clients, my photography clients, were asking me, Steve, can you do video? And the first few times I say, no, I can't, But then people kept on asking me, look, please, could you do it? And then I said, okay, sure. And then by working with good people, self-learning, doing some courses, I learned a lot. And specifically in the making of In the Shadow of Beirut, which is my first feature film. I learned a lot from Gary Keane. I learned a lot from Brendan Byrne, from Miriam Safine, from the editing team, Isolde and Zaina, from the entire team that made this such a powerful film that it is. I learned an immense amount from, which I'm now applying to my next films.
I can only imagine where this takes you in your future, because if this is your first, I'm going to guess you have lots of untold stories to keep telling, and I sure hope that you do. And I hope the world gets to see more of your work. And better yet, come out to the U.S. premiere of this powerful film called In the Shadow of Beirut. Stephen Gerard Kelly, my guest today. I look forward to meeting you. I'll be at Bearsville Theater in Woodstock on that Sunday. And Stephen, I look forward to shaking your hand and thanking you in person.
Thank you, Rita. Likewise, looking forward to meeting you, and thank you very much for your time today. And thanks
Absolutely.
to all your listeners as well.
Thank you. Thank you. And safe travels over.
Thank you.
Take care.
Talk to you soon.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
91.3 WVKR, Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. I'm your host, Rita Ryan, here with LocalMotion each and every Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. As much as anyone that ever has listened to this show knows how passionate I am about the local music scene, I'm equally as passionate about film. And one of my favorite events every single year is the Woodstock Film Festival. Last week, speaking to Mayura Blaustein, the co-founder and executive director of the film festival, is always such a great joy and gets me so excited. And talking to the filmmakers today, it just moves you in such a powerful way. Again, we just spoke with Stephen Gerard Kelly. The film is going to be having its U.S. premiere. It's called In the Shadow of Beirut. You can look at a trailer right on YouTube. Just punch in the Shadow of Beirut. You'll see probably about a 2-minute trailer, and you'll get an idea about what this film is about. Thank you to the guest, Stephen Gerard Kelly. They're going to have 2 showings of the film. The first one is on Friday, the 29th, at the Rosendale Theater at 12 noon. The second one will be at Bearsville Theater on Sunday, October 1st at 10:15 a.m. Tickets available, woodstockfilmfestival.org. There's a ton of great live music performances. All kinds of genres of movies are shown at the Woodstock Film Festival. I hope to see you at one of those films next week. It starts a week from tonight, and then it's just going to go and go and go until, like, I don't know, I think I've got about 14 films to see, and taking some time off of work and the whole thing, because, boy, I tell you, it's just a really cool thing. So, woodstockfilmfestival.org. It is now officially 5 o'clock here on the East Coast. We are broadcasting live from the beautiful campus at Vassar College. And I'm your host, Rita Ryan, here with LocalMotion each and every Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. We're also going to be offering tickets this hour, free tickets to go see a great show at a local venue that's just opening their doors tonight for the first time. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit, but stay tuned for 2 pairs of tickets to be given away. Thank you again to my guests during the 4 o'clock hour, Stephen Gerard Kelly with In the Shadow of Beirut and Randy Schoenberg with Fioretta. Both films being shown at Woodstock Film Festival. And as we do each and every hour where we don't have a guest, we start the hour off by paying tribute to Tony Falco from the Falcon in Marlborough. We lost him October 27th of 2021, and among the many things he left was a really cool playlist or 2. And every week I take a track from it in order that he posted it, and it just always, I'm still learning brand new music from Tony. There's still music like this track that we're going to play now. I never heard it before, I'll be very honest with you. And so it just, I don't know, keeps his memory really alive for me, and hopefully for you as well. Let's take a listen to this one right here, right now on 91.3 by the Bee Gees. 91.3.
was in. Went up the stairs and kissed my woman to make her come alive. 'Cause with 15 kids and a family on the skids, I gotta go for a Sunday drive. 15 kids and a family on the skids, I gotta go for a Sunday drive. That's out they are, so I grabs out the car, convertible 59. Headed to the freeway, tried to find a Pasadena sign. 10 miles and 3/4, I wasn't feeling any more alive. 'Cause with 15 kids and a family on the skids, I gotta go for a Sunday drive. 15 kids and a family on the skids, I gotta go for a Sunday drive. I used to be a minstrel free with a whole lot of bread in my bag. I used to feel that my life was real, but the good Lord threw me a snag. Now I'm gonna be the same as me, no matter how I try. 'Cause with 15 kids and a family on the skids, I gotta go for a Sunday drive. 15 kids and a family on the skids, I gotta go for a Sunday drive. Turn round the car and headed for home. I guess I realized my fate. 10 miles and 3/4 more, I pulled up outside the gate. 20 more kids were stood inside, and that made 35. 'Cause with an orphanage full of 35 kids, I gotta go for a Sunday drive. An orphanage full of 35 kids, I gotta go for a Sunday drive. Sunday morning, woke up yawning, filled the pool for a swim. Pulled down the glass and looked in the mirror just to see if I was in. Went up the stairs and kissed my woman to make her come to life. 'Cause with an orphanage full of 35 kids, I gotta go for a Sunday drive. An orphanage full of 35 kids, I gotta go for a Sunday drive.
There's a vacant billboard sign out on mile 49. I was sure by now somebody would have bought. 'Cause it's a magnet to the eyes of anybody going by. And every time I get a glimpse, I get the thought that I ought to test my luck and finally sell my sister's truck. It's just been sitting in the driveway since she died. More that life keeps wearing thin, the more her dreams start creeping in. The image just gets brighter in my mind, saying, come to Patty's Diner, where the coffee's fine and the company's finer, and that picture of her grinning while the oven's catching fire. I can see it now. There's a spot I'm looking at, used to be a laundromat, but it's all been boarded up since early May. And Bill can't stomach the idea, says Holly, you're not thinking clear, and you haven't done since Patty passed away. Well, it might be that he's right, 'cause I keep sitting up at night with her talking at our table late last year. And when the radio comes on, there's an ad between the songs. Don't take all that long until I hear her pitching, come to Patty's Diner, where the food is fine and the folks are finer. And she's laughing while she says it, but she's serious as hell. I can hear it now. I never did much dreaming on my own. Patty did the scheming for us both. And her eyes would get lit up, they would glow right through the walls. But now everybody's living like she never lived at all. She was already pretty sick, and the treatment wouldn't stick. You could tell by then what everybody knew. And I couldn't understand why she would keep on making plans. She'd say, Holly, what else am I supposed to do? It was hard to overlook that she was such a lousy cook. Man, she couldn't fry an egg to save her life. But if you harbored any doubts, she knew how to talk 'em out, make you certain that it all would go alright, and that we'd open Patty's Diner, where the coffee's fine and the company's finer, and the kids could wait the tables, me and Bill pick up the slack. I can see it now, I can see it now, I can see it now.
.91.3 WVKR. The band is called Upstate. Patty's Diner is the track of their newest album called You Only Get a Few. Really wonderful band. They met in college at SUNY New Paltz, I don't know, maybe a decade ago or more, and have continued this an amazing, beautiful, soulful band. And they'll be playing at the Falcon in Marlborough on Friday, October 6th. You can make reservations. You never need to buy a ticket at the Falcon. All you do is make a reservation and show up and have the most wonderful time live at thefalcon.com. And you can make reservations or give them a call. Again, the band Upstate, whom we just heard, will be there at the Falcon on Friday, October 6th. We start off every hour here where we don't host a guest by paying tribute to the owner of the Falcon, Tony Falco. The track we heard was from the Bee Gees, titled Marley Pert Drive, off the album Odessa. That track to me didn't even sound like the Bee Gees that we all know, right? But it was. It's an older album, and it was on Tony's playlist. And again, we keep learning and listening to new music because of the joy that Tony found in supporting living artists and having a live music venue. And he is deeply, deeply missed. He just celebrated a birthday last week on the 12th. And he's thought of often. And we're going to keep the music flowing here. I am your host, Rita Ryan, here each and every Wednesday. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the YouTube page on LocalMotion on 91.3 WVKR, as well as giving a like and a follow to the Facebook page by the same name. These two next performers whom we'll be hearing from will be performing in Beacon this weekend. Let's start it off with Circe at 91.3 WVKR.
I beat my troubles like a drum. I beat my troubles like a drum. I beat my troubles like a drum. As I will beat this like a drum.
So numb today. There must be a way to watch each other's back when we're under attack. We all walk through the valley alone. We all walk
91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Jonas Smith, No Time to Wait. Jonas Smith, a great singer-songwriter, artist, typically living out in California, but does grace our presence out east every once in a while. He'll be performing this Saturday at the legendary Town Crier Cafe right on Main Street in Beacon. On Friday at Town Crier, you'll hear Circe, who we just heard before Jonas Smith. Circe's album called Like a Drum, released in 2019. I had them on the show a couple of years ago. A real delight, super fun band. They'll be at the Town Crier on the main stage on Friday night, and Jonas Smith will be at Town Crier on Saturday night. Tickets available by going to towncrier.com, and that's town spelled with an E, crier.com. It's time for a ticket giveaway. 2 pairs, actually. You and a guest are going to be, if you like flamenco music, you're going to want to see this show. So there's this brand new venue that is opening up tonight. They're hosting their first show tonight, and 2 lucky listeners who called in a few weeks ago will be in attendance. But this show that I'm giving tickets away for is for next Wednesday, September 27th. The show will start at 7 p.m., and it's in Saugerties, New York. The group is called Tableo Flamenco. It's a Spanish flamenco with award-winning dancers, vocalists, guitarists, and they're going to transform the theater into an intimate nightclub like those found in Andalusia. So if you like flamenco or you've never experienced it and want to try something new, you and a guest can win tickets just by giving us a call here. Again, please be able to attend the show. Don't just call to win tickets. We need you to be able to attend the show. It's happening at the newest venue in the Hudson Valley called The Local. It's at 16 John Street in Saugerties. And the show that we're giving tickets away for, the show is happening a week from tonight, next Wednesday, the 27th, 7 p.m. They call themselves Tableo Flamenco, and they feature a whole bunch of great there's like 6 members of this great group. Tickets available at thelocalsaugerties.com, or you give us a call here right now. I have 2 pair of tickets to give away, so that means I'll have 2 winners. You and a guest get to go check out some flamenco next Wednesday, the 27th, with Tableo Flamenco, and the venue is called The Local. They're located at 16 John Street in Saugerties, New York. If this sounds like something you may want to go see, give us a call right here, right now, 91.3 WVKR, and our phone number here to call is 845-437-7178. Again, the phone number to call, 845-437-7178. I will take 2 callers. The first 2 callers who call will win tickets for Tableo Flamenco, Wednesday, September 27th at 7 p.m. at the Local in Saugerties. 845-437-7178. And let's take a listen to Tableo Flamenco right here, right now on 91.3 WVKR.
a esa virgen tan bonita que a Huelva le da Dios.
.3 WVKR. Congratulations to winner Christina, who won a pair of tickets to go see this group that we just heard, Tablea Flamenco, at the newest venue in the Hudson Valley called The Local in Saugerties. I have one more pair of tickets up for grabs for Tablea Flamenca. If you would like to go, just give us a call right here. The show is happening next Wednesday, September 27th at 7 p.m. in Saugerties at The Local. If you would like to go with a friend, all you have to do is give us a call at 845-437-7178, and you're there seeing some really cool flamenco music. Again, next Wednesday, the 27th, 7 p.m. at The Local in Saugerties. Just give us a call here, 845-437-7178. Now, let's take a listen to a band coming to UPAC in Kingston tomorrow night. And boy, am I excited about it. Let's take a listen right here, right now to Hot Tuna. And then again, if you want to go see flamenco music next Wednesday, give us a call, 845-437-7178. 91.3.
Together
Oh, yeah. 91.3 WVKR Hot Tuna Burgers, the legendary album Burgers. We just heard Let Us Get Together right down here. UPAC is where they're bringing it tomorrow night. The final Electric Hot Tuna shows are in progress. The tour is happening as I speak. And they're bringing the show tomorrow to Kingston. And it's going to be a great hometown crowd for Yorma and Jack. I am undoubtedly sure of that. Yorma has roots here in the Hudson Valley, having lived here in the Woodstock area back in the 80s before he moved out to Ohio. So, and Justin Gwip, their drummer, lives in Red Hook and owns and operates Mylan Hill Studio. So tomorrow night is going to be a smoking night at Ulster Performing Arts Center in Kingston, also known as UPAC. I think there might still be a few tickets left. You better just check if you want to plan on going to see Hot Tuna tomorrow. Final Electric Tour happening in Kingston tomorrow. They'll be at the Beacon Theater in New York this weekend. HotTuna.com as well as bardavon.org for tickets to check out Hot Tuna tomorrow night. I hope to see some of you there. It's going to be a really, really great show, and I've been looking forward to it for quite some time. Had Yorma here on the show a couple weeks back, and it's always one of my greatest honors talking with him. And and seeing him tomorrow. Still a pair of tickets left for the flamenco show, the Tablao Flamenco at the Local in Saugerties, the newest Hudson Valley venue. They're opening their doors tonight for the first show, and they're at 16 John Street in Saugerties. Be sure to follow them on the social medias under The Local Saugerties, and they also have a website, thelocalsaugerties.com. And if you'd like to go see some flamenco music, you can just give us a call here. We already had one winner. Congratulations again to Christine, who will be going to the Local next Wednesday. The show is next Wednesday, the 27th of September at 7 p.m. And if you give us a call, you and a guest can go check it out. Please be able to go. Don't just call to win tickets, but actually be able to go to the show in Saugerties next Wednesday at 7 p.m. The phone number here once again is 845-437-7178 to win a pair of tickets. Again, that number, 845-437-7178 for a pair of tickets for Tablao Flamenco. Going to keep the music going right here, right now with The Blues Project, 91.3 WVKR.
From the water, trying to see the light. Got two legs to walk on, if I can only stand upright. The natural selection has made its contribution. It's evolution. Too much soul. Life we've been living, survival of the fittest in this world we've been given. Sometimes a new idea can cause a revolution. It's evolution.
91.3 WVKR. One of the guitar masters, Arlen Roth, his album Slide Guitar Summit. We heard the track called Stranger on the Shore, also featuring the lovely and talented Ms. Cindy Cashdollar. Arlen Roth is bringing his show to Woodstock this coming Sunday at the Colony, colonywoodstock.com for tickets and info to check out Arlen Roth, master guitarist, one of the masters of the Telecasters is what they call him. Sunday at Colony. We also heard the title track off the new Blues Project album. And Blues Project is out doing a tour October 4th at the Catskill Mountain Moonshine in Saugerties. October 5th, they'll be at the Iridium in New York City. Blues Project is now with Roy Blumenfeld, Steve Katz, Scott Petito, Chris Morrison, and Ken Clark. Also on this tour will be Chris Berkson, amazing guitarist as well. The Blues Project, check them out. Brand new album called Evolution, and we heard the title track from that one. We're going to keep the music flowing here for just a little bit, and then we're going to do musical happenings. We've got a track now to play by my friend Carl Allwire. Let's take a listen here on 91.3.
I know I can't lose whenever I'm with you. Baby, it's that thing you do. I know it's so true. When cloudy skies turn blue, baby, it's that thing you do. When I get lonely and I cannot feel a thing, the world comes crashing down, the walls are closing in. You are the light that shines and always burns so bright. You work the magic that will make me feel alright. No, I can't lose whenever I'm with you. Baby, it's that thing you do. I know it's so true. When cloudy skies turn blue, baby, it's that thing you do. And as we wander down this path that we call life, and everything that's supposed to be just still ain't right, then you remind me of just how good life can be, and open up my eyes to what I could not see. I know I can't lose whenever I'm with you. Baby, it's that thing you do. I know it's so true. When cloudy skies turn blue, baby, it's that thing you do.
Remember last summer when we had the chance to find each other, start making romance, but it didn't come off 'cause you found another without one hand of a clock. What good is the other? And I can't find no true love. Oh baby, it's so hard. And I still think about you every time I'm riding in my car. Well, I went to the place where everybody hangs out to see what everybody was talking about. And over in the corner all alone with you was a boy from last summer singing songs to you. He can't sing like I can sing. Oh, it's so hard. And I still think about you every time I'm riding in my car. Oh, when I'm home alone I can think of other things to do, but when I'm rolling in forward motion I think about only you. It's been a year and a day since I've talked to you. I don't know how I made it, boy, I sure have been blue. And every time I think about what might have been, I jump in my car and start riding again. And I can't hard. And I still think about you every time I'm riding in my car. And I can't find no true love, oh baby, it's so hard. And I still think about you every time I'm riding in my car. And I still think about you every time I'm riding in my car. Riding in my car. I still think about you when I'm riding in my Can't forget you when I'm riding in my car.
91.3 WVKR, such a fun band. I remember seeing them back decades ago. NRBQ, All Hopped Up is the name of the album, Riding in My Car. They're bringing their music to Levon Helm Studios in Woodstock on September 27th. Tickets available at levonhelm.com. Check out NRBQ and their great lineup of music, always at Levon Helm Studios. We also heard music from Carl Allwire, That Thing You Do. Carl hosts an open mic that's happening this Friday at the Black Snake Brewery in Statsburg. He's very famous for hosting open mics and giving so many people the great opportunity to play out, many for the first time. Carl also plays in several bands and is the co-owner of the Rhinebeck School of Music. He's an incredible bassist and guitarist and plays equally good on both instruments. I mean, he's just a really amazing musician. Carl Allwire, That Thing You Do. It is 5:49. I'm your host, Rita Ryan. It is now time for musical happenings. We do this during this part of the show, which is nearing the end, and we list some of our area venues in alphabetical order in the hopes that you go support live music and go enjoy yourself, support music and the venues and the musicians. Let's start off with the Bardavon and UPAC. Bardavon.org. Tomorrow, September 21st, the final Hot Tuna Electric Tour at UPAC. September 23, Nexus at Bardavon. September 29, Al Franken. October 1, David Sedaris. Bearsville Theater in Woodstock, also bearsvilletheater.com. October 13th is the Woodstock Invitational Luthiers Showcase. Caramore in Katona, also info at caramore.org. September 29, Emmett Cohen Trio. First time listing for this new venue, Uncle Chief in Brewster. It's a jazz club. Tickets and info at unclechiefceef.com. It's open Wednesday through Sunday. Tonight featuring Claire Maloney and Nate DeBrine. September 21 with Freddie DeBow. September 22, Burnell Jones II. And September 23, Mike DeRubio. And September 24th, Jazz Brunch with Tyler Blanton, Brazilian Vibes. And that is at Uncle Chief in Brewster. City Winery, Hudson Valley in Montgomery, and at citywinery.com. September 27th, Songwriters Lounge, hosted by Annalise and Ryan. Colony in Woodstock and colonywoodstock.com. Visit the website for the outdoor listings for the beer garden. Inside at the Colony tonight is a singer-songwriter night. Thursday, 4-0 Trio. Friday, stand-up comedy with Todd Barry. Saturday, Jill Sabule and Jennifer Knapp. Sunday, Arlen Roth, and every Monday is an open mic at Colony. The Falcon in Marlborough and at liveatthefalcon.com. Thursday, I Get Wild plays Talking Heads. Friday, Professor Louie and the Chromatics. Saturday, Jonathan Scales Forkestra. And Sunday is San Rampi Para. the Fisher Center at Bard College, and info at fishercenter.bard.edu. September 21 through October 1, theater performance of Ulysses. Howland Chamber Music Circle at Howland Cultural Center in Beacon. Info and tickets at howlandmusic.org. October 1, the Sylvan Winds Woodwind Quintet. Jazz Forum in Tarrytown, also at jazzforumarts.org. This Friday and Saturday, 2 shows each night featuring Nilsson Mata and Brazilian Voyage Quintet. Jazz Stock at the Senate Garage in Kingston and at jazzstock.com. October 19th, featuring a French duo, Julien Leroux and Bojan Zolfkarpasak. Levon Helm Studios in Woodstock and at levonhelm.com. September 23, Mighty Poplar. September 27, NRBQ. October 6th, Whitney. October 7, Helm Family Midnight Ramble. The Local in Saugerties. Info and tickets at thelocalsaugerties.com. Tonight is the opening night, sold out, with Orchestra Tout Poussant Marcel. Next Wednesday, the 27th, Tablao Flamenco. Opus 40 in Saugerties, also at opus40.org. Friday, the 22nd, Lara Hope and the Arctones. September 24th, Susie Roach and Lucy Wainwright Roach. The Stissing Center in Pine Plains and thestissingcenter.org. September 30, Alejandro Brits Quartet. Tarrytown Music Hall in Tarrytown, also at tarrytownmusichall.org. September 22nd, Ani DeFranco. September 23rd, Michael Frank. Town Crier in Beacon and towncrier.com. Every Thursday is an open mic. Friday on the Salon stage featuring Beacon Songsmiths. On the main stage, Cersei and Brad Cole. Saturday on the Salon stage, Garen Benfield, and on the main stage, Jonah Smith Band and Carrillo and Savell. And Sunday showcase. Sunday evening is a showcase. Lola's Pizza in Uptown Kingston tonight, September 20th, featuring the Aaron Thurston Trio. O Positive Festival, October 6th through 8th in Kingston. Tickets and info available at opositivefestival.org. 3 days of music, art, wellness, and celebration. Last but certainly not least, the 24th Annual Woodstock Film Festival runs from September 27th through October 1st. Info and tickets at woodstockfilmfestival.org. 28 feature films, 26 feature documentaries, 9 world premieres, 7 U.S. premieres, and 8 live music performances, all part of the Woodstock Film Festival. Also, a huge thank you to my guest today, Filmmakers Randy Schoenberg from Fioretta. The film is making its world premiere at Bearsville Theater on September 30th at 2:15. And also thank you to Stephen Gerard Kelly, director and co-director and cinematographer of the film In the Shadow of Beirut. It's a documentary that's having its U.S. premiere at the Rosendale Theater on Friday, September 29th at 12 noon, and at Bearsville Theater on Sunday, October 1st at 10:15. If you missed part of that interview or all of it, or just want to hear about those films again, I'll be uploading this show later on tonight on the YouTube channel. That would be LocalMotion on 91.3 WVKR. And hello, Caroline. My daughter just texted me. It's so cute to get texts from friends and my kid every once in a while. So good stuff. I'm going to play one more song. I'm going to go out with a track by Eric Squindo. His latest EP called Back on the Scene. Damn the Soothsayer is the track. Eric Squindo presents the Woodstock album series by the band Sunday, October 1st. It's often referred to as the Brown Album. The band released their self-titled sophomore album in 1969. And Eric Squindo Presents is going to be featuring quite a lineup of great local musicians to be playing that album Sunday, October 1st at Colony in Woodstock. So I'll be back next week. I'm hoping with Larry Packer. In 2 weeks, Danny Bloom will join me. In 3 weeks, no show. Danny Melnick and Isabel Sofer of The Local will be joining me on the 18th. Also, Leon Botstein of Bard College will be joining in on October 25th. We've got a great lineup this fall and going into winter. We're almost fully booked through the end of the year. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Also, I need to tell everybody thank you for those who pledged last Wednesday during the pledge drive. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your support of local independent radio. It really is greatly appreciated. I'm going to leave you now with a track by Eric Squindo. I'll be back next week. We'll see you then. Until then, I wish you peace.
Gather my burdens and I'll trade them for a dream. Come share in my trouble, got more than I need. It's hard to keep waiting when that weight's put on. Damn the soothsayer, he got it all wrong. 7 long years, I can still hear her say, don't you worry, my son, I'm not going away. I'll be there when you're lonesome, looking for a song. Damn the soothsayer, I'll never be gone.